Hey guys, so this is my spring 2019 audit for the organization Southeastern Guide Dogs. I'm a little sick this week, so if I sound really stuffy, that's why, so bear with me. So first, let's jump right into the executive summary. And Southeastern Guide Dogs is a nonprofit organization that is in Palmetto, Florida, and they provide guide dogs and service dogs for the blind and just other variations of disabled people. In this audit, we will be discussing the public relations that are exemplified in this organization, including the different tactics that they use and various other efforts to show how this organization grew out of a small dormitory into a full-blown campus. We will examine their past, their present, and future potential for their endeavors and various advancements. I'll begin this audit with an overview of the organization and the industry as a whole, mentioning the history of the organization and their various accreditations. And then we'll jump into examining the public relations and various tactics implemented, followed by my personal recommendations for the organization. So first off is the organization and industry overview. So this guide dog industry began around 1780. It began around the First World War, was the first major efforts to move towards guide dogs. So this German doctor named Dr. Stalling got the idea of training dogs when he left his dog with a hospital patient outside. When he returned to see the patient and the dog, he saw that the dog was actually guiding the blind patient. And from there, Dr. Stalling opened the first school for guide dogs in Oldenburg, Germany. Unfortunately, his school had to be shut down due to the lack of dog quality, but then an American woman named Dorothy Eustace was introducing guide dogs internationally. She wasn't exclusive to veterans, but she also worked with other blind individuals. Her success excited her to open a guide dog school in Switzerland, and her schools are the only ones to survive into our modern era that we know today. And so since the 1930s, we see guide dog schools popping up across the world, and in America, they've been really continuous. Some changes that we have seen in Southeastern Guide Dogs specifically is that in 1982, Robert D. Miller and his wife started the school, and although they didn't have the skill sets necessary, they recruited a team to make their dream of a guide dog school come alive, and within 2 years, they graduated 6 guide dogs with owners. They were based out of a house, and then this business came out to be a 33-acre campus with 6 facilities spanning 100,000 square feet. Since then, they have received about $30 million in donations, which are all put back into the school to improve these facilities and improve the quality of their care. Their mission statement is that Southeastern Guide Dogs transforms lives by creating and nurturing extraordinary partnerships between people and dogs. A nonprofit with a national outreach, we train dogs of the highest pedigree for people who are blind and for veterans, providing our premier dogs and lifetime services at no cost. We operate the most advanced training facilities of any service dog organization and employ some of the most talented and innovative scientists and trainers in the world. You can tell that they really value providing exceptional quality dogs at no cost to these individuals, and they are trying to employ not only trainers, but also scientists to create more innovative technology to provide these dogs. Next, we're going to jump into the public relations of Southeastern Guide Dogs. And so an overview, we have to understand that behind these efforts is the main media relations coordinator, Ruth Lando. I reached out to her through an email to get more information than what was provided on her website. And so Ruth's job is a manager role, and she's not the person who's like on camera or being quoted, but she's more so the gears that make the clock tick. She does proactive pitching and outreach to places locally. regionally, and nationally. She says that we have very talented and robust marketing and communications department at Southeastern Guide Dogs. Her team consists of a vice president, a manager for digital marketing, who's also the staff photographer. She has 2 writers and 2 videographers, a manager for guest experiences, manager for media relations, which is herself, a graphic designer, and a training and demo professional. So, although this team isn't explicitly described as a public relations team, they fulfill the roles that a typical public relations team would meet. They're really meeting the communication aspect of Southeastern Guide Dogs, and they're trying to encompass several departments in one in order to remain a smaller team. The team seems to be 3 departments in one, and they all hold each other accountable for their jobs. These are all in-house employees that are hired by Southeastern Guide Dogs, and they try to maintain a positive image of the organization, and they try to work together to ensure that everything runs smoothly and has a very positive impact on the community. So moving into the situation analysis, I conducted a SWOT test. And so first off, some of the strengths I see are that Southeastern is the only guide dog school in Florida. They also have puppy raisers around the country, so they can offer visually impaired people with dogs that have experience traveling, different climates such as snow and ice, and different lifestyles. And they are also very prominent in the local community in Florida. They're always hosting different events and fundraisers and trying to create morale. Some weaknesses are that since they only have 1 location, their outreach could expand more. They could have more of an impact globally and nationally if they had more than 1 location. I also think that a weakness is that they have a communication issue between staff and volunteers, especially considering that they have more volunteers than staff, and they really need to place an emphasis on that level. An opportunity that I think they see is that they're providing more kinds of service dogs than just for the visually impaired, and they've already implemented arson, therapy, and PTSD dogs, and they could also explore other avenues such as diabetic dogs or dogs for the deaf. And some potential threats that I see are that basically just the competition, the other guide dog schools in the country. There are several others, not just Southeastern. And since they're only local to Florida, they don't have as much of an outreach as other guide dog schools could possibly have over them. So their publics are that they have producers who are the volunteers and the employees. They range from high school students to college students, retired people, families, and working adults. They provide online resources for these people to reach out, to be involved. And the puppy raisers are really the most prominent volunteers that they have since they're literally raising the dogs for them. The employees are in various departments and they all add their own flair to the table. And they work from working adults in the early 20s to more elderly working adults. They are very casual and it's not really a stiff environment. Some consumers are that they are the visually impaired and those with disabilities. They're the ones receiving the guide dogs free of charge. Southeastern does not provide guide dogs to those under 18, but they do provide canine companion dogs for children so that they can learn how to take care of a dog. Enablers would include the media and just the local community and their support. This demographic is very wide and it really includes everybody. And this public is just very dog friendly, very much a family kind of environment. And the limiters would be the Southeastern's competitors, other guide dog schools, but also their availability for dogs. Obviously, you can't provide a dog to everybody, and you really have to wait for that right dog that's the dog that's right for you. So moving into the public relations activities, we have campaigns, we have the annual walkathon, and the Superheroes on Parade. These just really create morale throughout the community and really also raise funds and raise awareness for the activity. Some tactics are that they have news releases, face-to-face verbal contact with those they're working with, and a community participation, because I mentioned all the fundraisers and other activities that they provide. They also have a main project, which was this video release on YouTube called Pip, which follows a cartoon guide dog, and it really just outlines their mission and their purpose. And this tactic is also obviously for social media. They're on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. It was really highly publicized on those outlets. And finally, we have programs. So you can sponsor a guide dog. You can name a dog for $5,000. And you can also, sorry, there's a typo, Pause for Patriots, which is their veteran guide dog program. And some tactics in this that I saw is that they use the website profusely with this. They really provide additional information, and also the application is completely online. So if you're not online, you're going to have some issues with participating in this. And some recommendations that I have for the organization is that they should build a campus outside of Florida, like I mentioned, and they should also create a space for staff and volunteers to communicate, such as they could have like a luncheon sort of activity where everyone could get together and talk face to face, or they could provide a mentorship program so that they can get to know each other a bit more and really ask questions in a safe space with each other. I hope you understand now a bit more about Southeastern's public relations activities and their involvement in the community. Thank you.